श्री गुरुभ्यो नमः। हरि ओम। ओम गणानां त्वा गणपतिगुं हवामहे कविं कवीनामुपमश्रवस्तमम् ज्येष्ठराजं ब्रह्मणां ब्रह्मणस्पदानश्चिन्वन्नोतिभिः सीदसादनम्। ओम श्री महागणपतये नमः। श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानामालयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पादशङ्करं लोकशङ्करं। सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे श्रीगुरुपरम्पराम्। ओम श्री शङ्कराचार्य स्वामिने नमः। ओम सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ओम शांति शांति शांति। हरि ओम श्री गुरुभ्यो नमः। हरि ओम।
नमस्ते महोदय। लक्ष्मी बीवी भगिनी। ओके सॉरी, विजयलक्ष्मी भगिनी।
नमस्ते महोदय।
नमस्ते।
ओम श्री परमात्मने नमः। अथ पंचदशोऽध्यायः पुरुषोत्तमयोगः। श्री भगवानुवाच ऊर्ध्वमूलमधः शाखम् अश्वत्थं प्राहुरव्ययम् छन्दांसि यस्य पर्णानि। Sir, I didn't get.
छन्दांसि यस्य पर्णानि यस्तौ वेद स वेदवित्।
छन्दांसि यस्य पर्णानि यस्त्वौ वेद स वेदवित्. Shall I repeat again?
Full shloka.
Yes. श्री भगवानुवाच ऊर्ध्वमूलम् अधः शाखम् अश्वत्थं प्राहुरव्ययम् छन्दांसि यस्य पर्णानि यस्त्वौ वेद स वेदवित्.
Good. Next.
शीला शिंदे भगिनी।
अधश्चोर्ध्वं प्रसृतास्तस्य शाखाः गुणप्रवृद्धा विषयप्रवालाः अधश्च मूलान्यनुसन्ततानि कर्मानुबन्धीनि मनुष्यलोके।
Good.
अनुपमा भट्ट भगिनी। अनुपमा भट्ट भगिनी।
न रूपमस्येह तथोपलभ्यते नान्तो न चातिर्न च सम्प्रतिष्ठा अश्वत्थमेनं सुविरूढमूलम् असङ्गशस्त्रेण दृढेन चित्वा।
Good.
काश्मीरा भगिनी।
ततः पदं तत्परिमार्गितव्यम् यस्मिन् गता निवर्तन्ति भूयः तमेव चाद्यं पुरुषं प्रपद्ये यतः प्रवृत्ति प्रसृता पुराणी.
Good. So we got a new shloka for this week.
राजेश्वरी शिवशंकर भगिनी।
निर्माणमोहाजितसङ्गदोषाः अध्यात्मनित्या विनिवृत्तकामाः निर्माणमोहाजितसङ्गदोषाः अध्यात्मनित्या विनिवृत्तकामाः
अध्यात्मनित्या विनिवृत्तकामाः निर्माणमोहाजितसङ्गदोषाः अध्यात्मनित्या विनिवृत्तकामाः.
Good.
Bhanureka Bhagini.
Dvandvairvimukta sukha dukkha sanjaihi.
द्वन्द्वैर्विमुक्ता सुखदुःखसंज्ञैः द्वन्द्वैर्विमुक्ता सुखदुःखसंज्ञैः
Gacchantyamudaः padamavyayam tat.
गच्छन्त्यमूढाः पदमव्ययम् तत् गच्छन्त्यमूढाः पदमव्ययम् तत्
Dvandvairvimukta sukha dukkha sanjaihi. Gacchantyamudaः padamavyayam tat.
द्वन्द्वैर्विमुक्ता सुखदुःखसंज्ञैः गच्छन्त्यमूढाः पदमव्ययम् तत् द्वन्द्वैर्विमुक्ता सुखदुःखसंज्ञैः गच्छन्त्यमूढाः.
Actually speaking, it's a sanyaihi, because when you look at the books, if there is sloka, after nyai they'll put one ir there.
Okay.
That ir is indicative that there is a visarga, sanyaihi. Okay? And when you chant it together, it becomes sukha dukkha sanyair gacchante moda padamavyayam. The ir will come that time.
Okay.
So when you split it there, it becomes sanyaihi. I think it has been missed out in this slide.
द्वन्द्वैर्विमुक्ता सुखदुःखसंज्ञैः गच्छन्त्यमूढाः पदमव्ययम् तत् द्वन्द्वैर्विमुक्ता सुखदुःखसंज्ञैः गच्छन्त्यमूढाः पदमव्ययम् तत्.
Next.
Lalita Bhagini.
निर्माणमोहाजितसङ्गदोषाः अध्यात्मनित्या विनिवृत्तकामाः द्वन्द्वैर्विमुक्ताः सुखदुःखसंज्ञैः गच्छन्त्यमूढाः पदमव्ययम् तत्.
निर्माणमोहाजितसङ्गदोषाः अध्यात्मनित्या विनिवृत्तकामाः द्वन्द्वैर्विमुक्ता सुखदुःखसंज्ञैः गच्छन्त्यमूढाः पदमव्ययम् तत्.
Good. Next. Next, please.
Srimati Bhagini.
नमस्ते महोदय.
Namaste.
निर्माणमोह फुल् श्लोक महोदय.
The full shloka, yes.
निर्माणमोहाजितसङ्गदोषाः अध्यात्मनित्या विनिवृत्तकामाः द्वन्द्वैर्विमुक्ताः सुखदुःखसंज्ञैः द्वन्द्वैर्विमुक्ताः सुखदुःखसंज्ञैः गच्छन्त्यमूढाः पदमव्ययम् तत्.
Good. Next.
Sharada Rajan Bhagini.
निर्माणमोहाजितसङ्गदोषाः अध्यात्मनित्या विनिवृत्तकामाः द्वन्द्वैर्विमुक्ताः सुखदुःखसंज्ञैः गच्छन्त्यमूढाः पदमव्ययम् तत्.
Good. Next, one more person.
Veena Fanishri Bhagini.
नमस्ते महोदय.
Namaste.
निर्माणमोहाजितसङ्गदोषाः अध्यात्मनित्या विनिवृत्तकामाः द्वन्द्वैर्विमुक्ताः सुखदुःखसङ्गैः गच्छन्त्यमूढाः पदमव्ययम् तत्.
Good. So in the 15th chapter that we are now discussing and learning, Bhagavan is talking about, initially he started off about with a kind of imagery of Ashvatta Vriksha with Samsara Vriksha. And he said that both Ashvatta as well as Samsara, they perpetuate continually, eternally. So unless otherwise somebody has got a Dridena Chitva, we have to have some kind of a sharpened discriminative capability of removing the samsara. Okay, understanding that moksha is the ultimate purpose of this particular birth. Similar, if we cannot remove the ashwatha just by cutting the branch or the stem, but you have to uproot it. Similarly, in the case of samsara sagara also, one has to have the understanding and uproot this particular samsara sagara by the appropriate knowledge and viveka. That's what the first four slokas I've been talking about. He is now giving four different types of sadhanas in terms of this particular chapter. I'll just quickly run to those things that we have covered. If you look at this one, Asanga Satyana Dridana Chitva, that means Vairagyam is required. People should have the Vairagyam. They have to have an understanding that moksha is my purpose of this life. Purushartha, I need to have a firm commitment for moksha in this particular life. And then all the attachments, all the kinds of samsara sagara should be removed with asanga shastrena dridena chitva. It has got to be absolutely cut off. That's what we discussed last week. That is, you have to have vairagya. Vairagya is one of the important qualities that one needs to develop. Okay, and vairagya also we have discussed that in the sixth chapter, I think shloka 635 also, we have talked about vairagya. Bhagavan said that when Arjuna said that to do the meditation and all, chanchalam is happening to be chanchalam hi mana Krishna. That's what he was telling. Then Bhagavan said two things. You need to have abhyasa and vairagya. I think we have talked about that in length. Vairagya is for those things that you are very much attached in life. You need to have a vairagya in terms of getting rid of it. How is the vairagya going to be achieved? By questioning the objectivity of it. If I want to buy something new, I have to understand what is it in it for me. Okay. And if you are going to be the journey of moksha, you have to ask me whether this is going to take care of my moksha requirement. So that is objectivity behind every one of the things that you want to have, likings. You have to ask the objectivity whether it is going to take care of that. That is vairagya. Similarly, when you have to cut off all these kinds of things, you need to have a vairagya. Abhyasa means getting rid. You are able to have control on those things that are troubling you. So for that abhyasa, they said you need to have japa and all. Japa, upasana, sahasranama archana, all those kinds of things are continuously doing something. You are able to ensure that your mind is not going to be carried away by the problem that you are facing. So you do that kind of a thing, be distracting the mind by doing japas, etc. So you need to have vairagya abhyasa. Here Bhagavan is talking about vairagya is extremely important. Only with that you will be able to cut this particular root. Then in the sloka number 15.4, Bhagavan talks about two things. Prapatye, tamevacha adyam purusham prapatye. Prapatye means what? Saranagati. Saranagati is what? Saranagati is surrender. There are two factors that is there in the case of human understanding. In the case of Saranagati, one is that you need to first have the attitude of not surrendering everything to Bhagavan and say everything be taken care by itself. No. First thing is you have to have prayatna. Prayatna is important in terms of all these things. Just by surrendering is not going to happen. Prayatna is important. And followed by prayatna, you have to have a Ishvara Anugraha. You have to pray for Ishvara Anugraha. And that is what is the way by which you can look at Saranagati. So Saranagati is another important thing that we need to cultivate. Then if you look at this first line, Tat Parimargitavyam. Parimargitavyam is that you need to have a very good understanding of what is that particular padam that you want to reach. What is the absolute thing that you want to know. That is Brahman. For that, what is that you need to have? You have to have a wonderful understanding of all the three things. That is Shravana, Manana, Nididhyasana. These three things is what Bhagavan is clubbing them as putting a Taritat Parimargitavyam. You have to very well inquire into the studies. That is what he is telling. So Bhagavan has told here three different sadhanas so far. One is Vairagyam. Second thing is inquiry or Nididhyasanam. Third one, he has talked about Saranagati. In this one, he is now changing the gear, and he says that the other most important quality that one has to develop is sadguna, the good gunas that one has to cultivate, because only when you have the right kind of guna, you will be able to be successful in terms of your spiritual journey. For example, in the case of chemistry and all, whenever you do an experiment in chemistry laboratory and all, you have to have the right temperature, right pressure, etc., for the reaction to take place. Similarly, in the case of spirituality, you need to have the right kind of gunas with individual. Only when you have the right kind of gunas, it is possible for them to have spiritual growth. In the case of 12th, 13th chapter, we have discussed enough 20 different values. Amanitvam, Adambitvam, Ahimsa, Shanti, Arjavam, Acharya, Pasaram, Shaucham, Saityamapta, Vidigraham. We have discussed that at length. In fact, we spent almost 2 days only in discussing the values. So Bhagavan says, Sadgunas are very, very important. So for Sadgunas, he has taken the most important thing, Nirmana Moha. Nirmana Moha is that a person should be absolutely beyond pride. Nirmanam is pride. So he has got to come over the pride, the arrogance, all those things he has got to come out of that. So how does he come out of pride and arrogance? We have discussed this also in the 13th chapter. Nevertheless, pride, we have to know that in the world, there is always somebody more capable than me. So let me not be so proud that I am the most smartest fellow, but there's always more people who are also smarter than me. So first have that kind of a humility brought in by thinking that I am not the only one. There are a lot of people who are much better than me also. I might have come out from regional engineering college, somebody would have come from IIT, somebody would have come to Stanford also. So do not have the pride that I am the best. There are always much, much better people than each one of us. That is the first thing. Second thing is that in the case of 10th chapter, we have discussed about vibhutis. All the glories belong to the God. If you are smart, the vibhuti belongs to the God. If Asha Bhosle or Lata Mangeshkar can sing very, very beautifully, the glory is to God. Of course, some prayatna is also by the individual, but ultimately the glory of everybody is to the God. So once we think that the glory belongs to Bhagavan, and second thing is that there are always people much more better than me in the areas which I feel proud about me. If we cultivate this habit too, and maybe one more thing is that having a kind of humility that when you see elders, that is the culture that we have in India. There is people will fall at their feet. They do Sashtanga Namaskara. In North India, whenever they see people, they go and touch their feet. Elderly people, even if they do a send off at the airport or railway station, or when they receive people, first thing they do is to just humbly go and touch their feet. These are all the ultimate ways of developing the capability of humility in individuals. So what is important is amanitvam, or here in this particular case, it is nirmanam. One should cultivate a sadguna of nirmanam. We have to come over the pride. The second thing is nirmoham. We have to add nir here also. So you should not have manitvam, that is pride. You should also not be deluded. Your understanding has got to be absolutely clear. Your understanding is that what is Atma and what is Anatma, what is Prakriti, what is Purusha, what is Kshetra, what is Kshetrajna. It should all be extremely clear. And secondly, it is the clarity that your descriptive power is that you can understand. Like when I see my hand, it is consisting of the object plus light. I have to understand the light. When my computer is now working, I should know that there is a computer plus electricity which is not visible to me. So we have to have an understanding of discriminating and understanding what is there. And I should be very, very clear of not getting a misunderstanding. I should not have any delusion in my mind. And we also should understand that we are not going to be only persuasive of our thinking of Atma. One should be capable of even having materialist interest in life. It should not be that only 24/7 you are going to be doing meditation. No, the body is incapable of doing that kind of a thing. So you need to have sleep, you need to have food, you need to have other kinds of things to be done, which means that you have to have rajas, you have to have tamas, all those things are there. But you have to be very clear that even when I am doing all those things, the materialist thing, the body needs to be nurtured, means body is material. So I need to nurture it only by food. So eating food, I have to understand that it is a part of material, nourishing material, and I am Atma. But that should not be ignored. What I am telling is that we cannot ignore that. We have to ensure that discrimination and understanding that material should take care of materials, Atma should be taken care by myself. So that is the kind of understanding that one should also start developing. And then come out of Jita Sangha Dosha. Sangha Dosha means what? Attachment. Jita means win over. Dosha means the shortcoming. That is, any kind of attachment is a shortcoming. So we have to ensure that we are going to come out of the shortcomings of attachments. Attachment that should be won over. So for that, there are well, the thing is that we become emotionally slave, emotional slavery to different kinds of things. Maybe we are slavery to our people. We have got a kind of emotional slavery to the objects that people possess. So we have got a lot of things for which we are getting into a kind of attachment. One has to overcome the emotional attachment, emotional slavery to the various kinds of things that may trap us with in the way of attachments. And then, for example, only for that reason, in our culture, to come over those kinds of attachments only, we have got all these varatams and all. Somebody will say that on a Friday I will not eat, on Navaratri 9 days I will not eat. That means they are able to come over the tendencies for having a morning cup of coffee and then having various kinds of things in the entire daytime. They develop a capability that, yes, I will now try to ensure that I will come over these kinds of addiction that my body is demanding. So one has to have this capability of Jita Sangha Dosha. Then Adhyatma Nityaha. Adhyatma Nitya means one should be in a position to have a very clear dedication towards scriptural studies. So like whatever we are doing now. So we have to have scriptural studies, and also we need to ensure that we are going to do a kind of contemplation on that. We have discussed about those things also earlier. We have to Shravanam, Manana, Nididhyasana, understanding, asking some questions and making it much more clear, and then having a deeper understanding by Nididhyasana. All these things are important. So Adhyatma Nityaha, that is what is also important, which means you need to take care of yourself, plus you are also supposed to be taken care of in terms of skills, spiritual learning, spiritual studies are important. And Binivritta Kamaha, you have to come out of your desire. Kama is desire. So, what is the Binivritta Kamaha? There are two things we have to look at it. One is that whatever you are already possessing, you are going to have a attachment, right? So that is what Jita Sangha Dosha, when we said, whatever you are having today, you need to have a detachment towards what you have. And Vidivritta Kama is, do not bring in more new desires into your life. So these two things are interconnected. Jita Sangha Dosha and Vidivritta Kama are interconnected. One is detachment towards what you possess, and Vidivritta Kama is ensuring that you have got a good check on what is going to be the one that you are going to be desirous of. So this also has to be addressed. Nirmanam, Nirmoham, Jita Dosham, Adhyatma Nityam, Vidivritta Kama, Dvantve Vimukta, Sukha Dukkha Sanjehi. Sukha and Dukkha has to be understood fully. The opposites has to be understood fully. And people should be extremely clear about the opposites that are going to be in life. We are going to face all opposite situations will be opposite. Life is not going to be always happiness. Happiness means we'll have sukha, means dukkha will be there. Sunlight means shade will be there. Health means sickness will be there. Birth means death will be there. You have to understand that all these things are dvantvaihi. So you need to ensure that dvantvaihi, when it comes to you, you are going to accept that and then you're able to move on in life. They say a beautiful example that they give is that you have to be like a rubber ball or not a clay ball. When you have a clay ball, what happens is that when you drop it, it just gets stuck. That's it. So in life, sometimes we may fall. When we fall, we have to bounce back like a rubber ball. Be like a rubber ball, because life will have ups and downs. When you are down, again try to bounce back. That is the way one has to cultivate that resilience in terms of managing the opposites. So dvantvaihi vimuktaha sukha dukkha sanjaihi. Okay, we understand these kinds of things. And then when all these things happen, what happens? Gachanti amudaha. Amudaha means the person is a wise person. Gachanti, where does he go? Padam avyayam tade. He goes into that particular absolute padam, that is immortality. Avyayam is able to reach. So, nirmana moha, jidasanga doshaha, adhyatma nitya, vidivritta kamaha, dvandvaihi vimuktaha, sugadukka sanjaihi, gachanti, amudaha, padam avyayam tadu. That is what he will be able to go. So, he is now slowly building it up. How one has to start getting into that nirvana or getting into the nirguna brahman, understanding nirguna brahman. Okay, next.
Sai Lakshmi Bhagini.
न तद्भासयते सूर्यः.
नमस्ते महोदय।
नमस्ते.
न तद्भासयते सूर्यः, न तद्भासयते सूर्यः,
न शशाङ्को न पावकः,
न शशाङ्को न पावकः, न शशाङ्को न पावकः,
न तद्भासयते सूर्यः, न शशाङ्को न पावकः,
न तद्भासयते सूर्यः, न शशाङ्को न पावकः, न तद्भासयते सूर्यः, न शशाङ्को न पावकः।
Good. Next.
Rajalakshmi Bhagini.
यद्गत्वा न निवर्तन्ते,
यद्गत्वा न निवर्तन्ते, यद्गत्वा न निवर्तन्ते,
तद्धाम परमं मम,
तद्धाम परमं मम, तद्धाम परमं मम।
यद्गत्वा न निवर्तन्ते, तद्धाम परमं मम,
यद्गत्वा न निवर्तन्ते, तद्धाम परमं मम, यद्गत्वा न निवर्तन्ते, तद्धाम परमं मम।
Good. Next.
Sri Lakshmi Bhagini.
न तद्भासयते सूर्यः, न शशाङ्को न पावकः,
न तद्भासयते सूर्यः, न शशाङ्को न पावकः, न तद्भासयते सूर्यः, न शशाङ्को न पावकः।
Good. Next.
Usha Srinivasan Bhagini.
यद्गत्वा न निवर्तन्ते, तद्धाम परमं मम.
नमस्ते महोदय। यद्गत्वा न निवर्तन्ते, तद्धाम परमं मम, यद्गत्वा न निवर्तन्ते, तद्धाम परमं मम।
Good. Next.
Sharat Chavan Mahodaya.
न तद्भासयते सूर्यः, न शशाङ्को न पावकः, यद्गत्वा न निवर्तन्ते, तद्धाम परमं मम.
न तद्भासयते सूर्यः, न शशाङ्को न पावकः, यद्गत्वा न निवर्तन्ते, तद्धाम परमं मम.
Next.
न तत्
Only once. Thank you.
Vijaya Lakshmi Bhagini.
न तद्भासयते सूर्यः, न शशाङ्को न पावकः, यद्गत्वा न निवर्तन्ते, तद्धाम परमं मम।
Good. Next.
Sheila Shinde Bhagini.
न तद्भासयते सूर्यः, न शशाङ्को न पावकः, यद्गत्वा न निवर्तन्ते, तद्धाम परमं मम.
Good. One more person.
Rajeshwari Shivshankar Bhagini.
न तद्भासयते सूर्यः, न शशाङ्को न पावकः, यद्गत्वा न निवर्तन्ते, तद्धाम परमं मम।
Good. So in the previous sloka, it was mentioned, right, that gachanti amudaha padam avyayam tade. He said that when you develop vairagyam, which we studied in the previous slokas, vairagyam, sharanagati, and then what is that? Diridhyasanam, tat parimargitavyam, and then sadgunam. When all these things are developed and you cultivate the habit of spiritual growth, then they will be able to go to Gachanti Amudaha Padamavyam. they will be able to reach the ultimate abode, which is Brahman. That is, the Brahma and Atma will get Aikyam. That is the ultimate thing that will happen. Now he is continuing. If once a Brahma and Atma become Aikyam, in that particular place, Natat Bhasayate Suryaha. In that particular place, sun will not be able to brighten that up. Okay. Now you remember we have discussed about the Atma Jyoti Shloka in long time back, and we also discussed about it when we were doing the 13th chapter, right? We find that everything is known in the presence of sun, but the presence of sun is known to you by what? That is Atma Jyoti, right? That is what we discussed. We did a very good discussion about that, which means that in that particular play, once you are able to understand oneself, in that particular place, there is no necessity for Surya to give his light. Okay, you need to get light for enlightened. The light is required from Surya primarily for the purpose of seeing everything in this world of objects, but that will not be able to illumine your own inner light. So in that inner light, Surya will not be able to provide any kind of light. Na tat bhasayate Surya. Similarly, na shashanko, even moon will not be able to illumine that. Na pavakaha, even fire will not be able to get that light. For example, when you say that you are working on a problem, you close your eyes, light is not there, suddenly you get the brightness in your mind, and then you get, yeah, I got the idea. That brightness is something different from the sunshine. The sunshine is not able to give you the brightness, that spark in your mind, which is going to reveal something, which is going to make you know something. Similar, in that place, the light of external light like Surya or the room light has got no value to that. So that's what he says. Na tad bhasayate Surya. In that place, Surya as light is of no, it cannot illumine that. Na shashankaha, not even moon. Na pavakaha, not even fire. And yat gatva, on reaching Brahman. That means what? The person is able to merge into Brahman. Ayam takes place. Na nivartante, he is not going to once again get back to this samsara. Yat gatva, na nivartante, tad dama, that particular abode, paramam, supreme, belongs to whom? Mama. Bhagavan says, it is my supreme abode, tad dama paramam mama. So now if you look at it from the perspective of dualistic people also, we can say that Krishna's place is something different and it is the ultimate abode. That also one way of looking at it. I go to Krishna's abode and I reach him. The other thing is that in an Advaita context, it is the same abode in my own self, and that once I know the Brahman, that Brahman and me is the same Krishna, the Brahman and me is the same Atma that I have. That is the Brahman, because of it everything in the universe is manifest. That is the Taddama Paramam Mava. Okay, so this is primarily a sloka which talks about the Brahma Lakshanam. Brahma Lakshanam is the quality of Brahma. Brahman is that in that particular place, there's no need for any other light because sun itself came from Brahman. We all discussed about the creation. 7th chapter we talked about creation. So what happened? Brahman alone existed. From Brahman alone, everything else was created. Sun was created, moon was created, earth was created. It's all created objects from the Brahman. The existence substratum for everything in the universe is Brahman. And even sun is existing because of Brahman, which means that once you are able to reach that Brahman, natad bhagyate surya sasashanko na pavakaha yadgatvan nivartante. Then if somebody is able to have Brahma Atma Aikyam, then he is going to be only in that abode of Brahma Atma. He has realized himself, he has merged with the Brahman. Then there's no Brahma, nothing other than him is the Brahman. Then that particular Paramam Padam is mine. But Bhagavan said that the supreme abode, Tatti Dhama Paramam Mama, that is what is my abode. That's what Bhagavan says in this particular thing. This is the essence of Brahman. Essence of Brahman is that it cannot be objectified. The sun is required only when you want to see the objectifiable objects. But here Brahman is not objectifiable. So the light cannot be a mean for you to know Brahman. So he says that a person who is able to reach across that particular place through his own self, by his own knowledge and realize himself, in that none of these things are going to be of any use in illuminating that. Natad bhasayate surya shashanko na pavakah yadgatva na nivartante tadhama paramam mama. Next.
भानुरेखा भगिनी
Yes, sir.
ममैवांशो जीवलोके
ममैवांशो जीवलोके ममैवांशो जीवलोके
जीवभूतः सनातनः
जीवभूतः सनातनः जीवभूतः सनातनः
ममैवांशो जीवलोके जीवभूतः सनातनः
ममैवांशो जीवलोके जीवभूतः सनातनः ममैवांशो जीवलोके जीवभूतः सनातनः
Good. Next.
श्रीमती भगिनी
मनःषष्ठानीन्द्रियाणि
मनःषष्ठानि इन्द्रियाणि मनःषष्ठानि मनःषष्ठानीन्द्रियाणि.
This is a compound word. Manaha is one word. Shashtani means six. Indriyani is another word. So Shashtani plus Indriyani becomes Shashtani Indriyani. E plus E becomes E. Shashtani is ending with E, starting with Indriyani. So E plus E becomes E. Manashashtani Indriyani.
मनःषष्ठानीन्द्रियाणि
Indriyani.
मनःषष्ठानीन्द्रियाणि
Manashashtani Neelabegam Ni. The D should be pronounced, not Nindriyani. Manashashtani
मनःषष्ठानीन्द्रियाणि मनःषष्ठानीन्द्रियाणि
Prakrutistani Karshati.
प्रकृतिस्थानि कर्षति प्रकृतिस्थानि कर्षति
Manashashtani Prakrutistani Karshati.
मनःषष्ठानीन्द्रियाणि प्रकृतिस्थानि कर्षति मनःषष्ठानीन्द्रियाणि प्रकृतिस्थानि कर्षति.
Good. Next.
ललिता भगिनी
ममैवांशो जीवलोके जीवभूतः सनातनः
ममैवांशो जीवलोके जीवभूतः सनातनः ममैवांशो जीवलोके जीवभूतः सनातनः.
Good. Next.
उषा श्रीनिवासन भगिनी
मनःषष्ठानीन्द्रियाणि प्रकृतिस्थानि कर्षति
मनःषष्ठानीन्द्रियाणि प्रकृतिस्थानि कर्षति मनःषष्ठानीन्द्रियाणि प्रकृतिस्थानि कर्षति.
Okay, you also said Indriyani. Okay. Next.
Sorry, sir.
अनुपमा भट्ट भगिनी
ममैवांशो जीवलोके जीवभूतः सनातनः मनःषष्ठानीन्द्रियाणि प्रकृतिस्थानि कर्षति
ममैवांशो जीवलोके जीवभूतः सनातनः मनःषष्ठानीन्द्रियाणि प्रकृतिस्थानि कर्षति.
Good. Next.
श्रीलक्ष्मी भगिनी
Yes, sir. Full shloka, sir.
Shloka, yes.
ममैवांशो जीवलोके जीवभूत सनातनः मनःषष्ठानीन्द्रियाणि प्रकृतिस्थानि कर्षति
Good. Next.
Kashmira Bhagini.
ममैवांशो जीवलोके जीवभूतः सनातनः मनःषष्ठानीन्द्रियाणि प्रकृतिस्थानि कर्षति.
Okay, good. So now, if you look at up to the previous sloka, Bhagavan was giving the upayas for moksha, right? He talked about Vairagyam, Saranagati, Nididhyasanam, and Sadgunam. He had given the upaya or the means for moksha. Now he is going to talk about the Brahman, that everything in this universe is Brahman. The this entire universe is Brahman. So he is also now going to talk about Brahma Nirvanam. Brahma Nirvanam means Nirvana means merger. Merger with Brahman is Brahma Nirvanam. Merger of Atma with Brahman is Brahma Nirvanam. Okay, that's what he's going to talk. So Shloka 7 says that everything is Brahman and there's no universe in the absence of Brahman. That is the meaning of the first sloka. This shloka, Mamaivamso Jiva Loke. We'll explain this. Okay. So if you look at that way, there are no ornaments in the absence of gold. We all understand that very clearly. There are no parts in the absence of clay. We understand that very, very clearly. So the entire world, if you look at that way, the universe is divided into two parts. One is called Jiva. Jiva is the conscious experiencer. Now, if you look at all of us are conscious experiencer. So if you look at that way, the world has got two parts, the universe has got two parts. One is the conscious experiencer, that is the Jiva. The other one is inert objects of experience. We are experiencing different objects, all of them are inert. So inert objects of experience is called Jagat. So we have got Jiva, which is a conscious experiencer, and Jagat, which is constituting the entire world of inert objects. So the entire universe is what? Experienced plus experiencer. Experience is Jagat, experiencer is Jiva. So Jiva plus Jagat is the entire thing, that is the Brahman. So Brahman alone is appearing in the form of Jiva and Brahman alone is appearing in the form of Jagat. So that is the first understanding we need to have. So Jiva is Chaitanya Pratibimbam. Now the question arises, what is Jiva? What is a human? The human Jiva we talk about, because the next sloka is all going to talk about the transmigration of the soul at the end of death, at the time of death, etc. So I had lay a small foundation for this. So what is Jiva? Jiva is Chaitanya Pratibimbam. The consciousness, we have discussed it in the earlier classes also. Consciousness reflected in the body-mind complex is Jiva. Okay. There is a nice example given. I was reading about this example 2 days back. Beautiful example. Now let us assume that the sun is there, right? The sun is there, bright and shining. And I am inside a room, I have closed the windows. Okay. When I close the windows, the room is absolutely dark. Okay, I am having a dark room. Then I just take a mirror, I just slightly open the door. I take a mirror and put it in such an angle that the mirror is able to face on one side the sun, and the other side it is at 45 degrees and comes into the room. Then what happens is that in the presence of the mirror, the sunlight gets reflected into the room and the room becomes brighter. Okay. Now, I say that this room is illumined by the sun. Okay. Should I say the room is illumined by the sun or the room is illumined by the reflecting mirror? It's a question always happening, no? Whether the sun, this room is getting the light from the sun, or the room is getting light because of the reflecting mirror. So that is one thing that we need to understand. Now, if you look at that way, if you look at our body, what happens is that there is a need, the consciousness is like sun. The consciousness, if it has got to come into the body, or the sunlight needs to come into the room, in the same way, I need a pratibimbam of the sun. Like for the mirror is required. So the reflecting mirror is what? It is just a reflecting medium. Only in the presence of the reflecting medium, the room gets brightened up. If the reflecting medium is not there, then the room is not going to get brightened up. Similarly, the room is inert. Similarly, the body is inert. Only in the presence of the reflecting medium of the mind and the Sukshma Sarira, the consciousness is able to enliven this body. Otherwise, the body is dark. Body is like a dead wood. It's like inert material. So how do we do that? Mirror illumines the dark room in the presence of sunlight. Okay, that is one of the arguments that you can have. We can say that the mirror is only illuminating the dark room in the presence of sunlight, blessed by the sun. That is, the importance is given to the mirror. Then the other thing is that sun alone illumines the dark room, not directly, but through the medium of mirror. So this is the two ways of understanding this. So now we have to understand that consciousness is like sun. It is there everywhere. And the reflecting medium that we have in this body is like a mirror. Only when the mirror is there inside this body, the sunlight is capable of getting reflected. And the reflected pratibambam, whatever is happening in this body complex, body-mind complex, is the jiva. I hope you got an understanding. Jiva is a reflecting mirror. It is equal to the reflecting mirror. In the presence of the jiva, reflecting mirror, the room is getting brightened up. The sun is always there. Similarly, in the presence of the reflecting medium in the body, which is the body-mind complex, the Sukshma Sarira, I should say rightly, Sukshma Sarira, only the particular body gets enlightened. So the body, the jiva, we have to understand, is reflected consciousness in the Sukshma Sariram. So the jiva is a reflected consciousness in the Sukshma Sariram. So now the question may ask, somebody may ask the question. Supposing even if I take the mirror out, then also there is no dark. When the sun is not there, it is dark. Then I remove the mirror also, it is going to be dark. So what is the point in that? Somebody may ask. But now you have to understand that. That means just because the presence of mirror is the room going to get brightened up. For example, in the night, can the room get brightened up? No, just presence of mirror is not going to brighten up the room, unless otherwise sun is existent. Mere existence of the reflecting medium cannot cause the room to be brightened up. So mere existence of Sukshma Sariram in the absence of consciousness cannot enliven the body. I hope you would have got some amount of understanding. If you still have any doubt, we'll have it between 3:15 and 3:30. So that is what we have to understand. And we also have to understand that when we are having a very, very deep sleep, what is happening? The reflecting medium is not there. That is, the mind is not there. Okay. When the mind is not there, when the body is not there, what you experience is absolute darkness. Right? So the reflecting medium's presence in the presence of the consciousness is always there, pervasive consciousness, then only this body will come to sentience. So reflecting medium is the Sukshma Sariram of this body. And based on that only, Bhagavan's Amsham is able to be present in the entire Jiva Loka, in the Jiva Bhutas, all the Bhutas, in the Jiva, as a Jiva, across eternally, Sanatanaha, Mamai Amshaha. That means the consciousness, here you should take the Mamai Amshaha, is primarily consciousness. In the presence of consciousness, the entire jivas are able to be present eternally. Okay. And then, even when the body falls, jiva continues. The reflecting medium continues. Only thing is, the reflecting medium is going to take up another body and then continue the journey. I'm sure some of you would have seen that video which I had shared long time back of Swami Tadatmananda explaining about the water and the sun and the reflection, etc. I think if you can take reference of that, you'll be able to understand this better. So, Bhagavan says that the consciousness is the one because of which eternally all the jivas are able to be existing in this particular world. Mamai amshaha jiva loke jiva bhuta sanatana. Okay. Then the next line, we have to read it along with the subsequent line, sloka. So I'll take the subsequent sloka and then come to this line. Okay. Next.
Rajalakshmi Bhagini.
Sharirai yadavapnoti.
Sharirai yadavapnoti. शरीरै यदवाप्नोति
यच्चाप्युत्क्रामतीश्वरः
यच्चाप्युत्क्रामतीश्वरः यच्चाप्युत्क्रामतीश्वरः
शरीरै यदवाप्नोति यच्चाप्युत्क्रामतीश्वरः
शरीरै यदवाप्नोति यच्चाप्युत्क्रामतीश्वरः शरीरै यदवाप्नोति यच्चाप्युत्क्रामतीश्वरः
Next.
शांति बद्री भगिनी
गृहीत्वैतानि संयाति
गृहीत्वैतानि संयाति गृहीत्वैतानि संयाति
वायुर्गन्धानि वाशयात्
वायुर्गन्धानि वाशयात् वायुर्गन्धानि वाशयात्
गृहीत्वैतानि संयाति वायुर्गन्धानि वाशयात्
गृहीत्वैतानि संयाति वायुर्गन्धानि वाशयात् गृहीत्वैतानि संयाति वायुर्गन्धानि वाशयात्
Good. Next.
शरत् चवन महोदय
शरीरै यदवाप्नोति यच्चाप्युत्क्रामतीश्वरः
शरीरै यद्वाप्नोति यच्चाप्युत्क्रामतीश्वरः शरीरै शरीरै यद्वाप्नोति यच्चाप्युत्क्रामतीश्वरः
Okay. Next.
ललिता भगिनी
गृहीत्वैतानि संयाति वायुर्गन्धानि वाशयात्
गृहीत्वैतानि संयाति वायुर्गन्धानि वाशयात् गृहीत्वैतानि संयाति वायुर्गन्धानि वाशयात्
Next.
शारदा राजन भगिनी
शरीरै यदवाप्नोति यच्चाप्युत्क्रामतीश्वरः गृहीत्वैतानि संयाति वायुर्गन्धानि वाशयात्
शरीरै यदवाप्नोति यच्चाप्युत्क्रामतीश्वरः गृहीत्वैतानि संयाति वायुर्गन्धानि वाशयात्
Good. Next.
श्रीलक्ष्मी भगिनी
Yes, sir. Full shloka, sir.
Pushpa, yes.
शरीरै यदवाप्नोति यच्चापुत्क्रामतीश्वरः गृहीत्वैतानि संयाति वायुर्गन्धानि वाशयात्
Good. Next.
वीणा फानिश्री भगिनी
शरीरै यदवाप्नोति यच्चाप्युत्क्रामतीश्वरः गृहीत्वैतानि संयाति वायुर्गन्धानि वाशयात्
Okay. So now if you look at that way, one of the meanings of the last line and this one is that Yada Jivaha Utkramati Tada Prakustani Vanastani Indriyani Karshati. That means when when the body falls, okay, when the body dies, at that particular time, everything that the Sukshma Sarira along with mind and the Indriyas will all be just moving out. So that is what is given in this, like Shariram yad avapnoti yaccha utkramatishvaraha grihitvaitani sanyati vayurgandhani vashayate. In the previous slokam, manas shashtani indriyani prakrutistani karshati. Mana is that is subtle body, sukshma sarira. Shashtani indriyani is here he has taken the pancha jnanendriyas only. Pancha jnanendriyas or subtle in the body, Sukshma Sarira, plus Mana becomes 5 plus 1, 6. That's the reason why he has put Mana, Shashta means 6. 6 of these things he has taken. But we need to understand, actually speaking, it is the entire Sukshma Sarira, that is 17 of them. That is Pancha Karmendriyani, Pancha Jnanendriyani, Pancha Pradani, Mano Buddhi. All these things are the ones that which has been Prakriti Stani. Prakriti is what it was staying in this particular body, right? The Prakriti is the inert matter. So it was not the Param, it is Prakriti. In the inert matter, all these things were staying. Mana and the entire Sukshma Sarira was staying inside the Stula Sarira. It was established as Stula Sarira. And then all these things are being Karshati, being attracted. And what happens is that yet Utkramatishvaraha means when it just leaves the body. The Sukshma Sharira leaves the inert body, that is Stula Sarira, and then Shariram it will just go and take another Shariram. But what is that he is doing? Grihitva etani sanyati. It is just Grihitva means what? It just pulls up everything. When the body dies, the Udana Vayu is supposed to be the one responsible for putting all these 17 ingredients together, pulls it out from the body, and it pulls out with what? Why? Like the way a beautiful flower is there, the wind is able to blow the fragrance far away. The flower is here only, but the fragrance is being taken away into a distant place by the nice wind. Vayur Gandha Nivashayat. It is able to take it to another place. The smell is being taken to another place. Similarly, the Sukshma Sarira is being pulled out from this Stula Sarira and then taken to another body. Shariram Yadu Avapnoti. There is another Shariram that is going to be taken. That is what is going to happen. So, Mana Shattani Indriyani, previous sloka, Prakrutistani Karshati, that it has been initially held by the body, then that is all being taken out and then it is pulled out, Vihitvani, like the way the Vayu is taking away the fragrance, it goes and takes into some other body. So this is also like this rented house. If you look at it that way, this particular Sukshma Sarira was staying in this Stula Sarira like the way we are all in a rented house. The rent that is being paid on a monthly basis like a Prarabdha Karma. Prarabdha Karma is being paid, and then the person was staying in this particular body. The day he did not have a rent to pay, that is Prarabdha Karma was not there, this fellow has to vacate and go. That is what happens in this particular body also. That this Sukshma Sarira has got to be pulled out. Then he is going to get a new body. When is he going to get a new body? We don't know. Whether it's going to be immediate, whether it's going to be after 10 years, 100 years, 1 lakh years, nobody knows what it is. It is all your own karma. It is all your own various kinds of factors that is going. Guna and karma, all those things will decide what kind of body somebody will get. When he is going to get a new body, etc. Because we do not know how long it is going to take the departed jiva to get another body and then establish itself. That is the reason why we have our Hindu system. We do Shraddha for at least 3 generations above us. We do for our father, grandfather, and great grandfather. We do for 3 generations because we do not know how long it takes for those people to get their new body. So, till such time they are able to get a new body, we offer them at least Pinda and Till and Udakam, that is water, on an annual basis for them to be taken care of because the Jiva has to move into another body. That is one of the things Dharma Shastra say, and we are just following them. So, what we have to understand is that the entire thing, the Shashtani, Indriyani, Prakrutistani, Vayur Gandhani, Vashya, it is just putting it out and then it is going to get into another body. Shariram Yadu Avapnoti is going to get another body. And then in that body, what it should do? Body will be a inert body, no? Inert body, the child's body will have 1 ear, 1 nose, 2 sets of eyes, all those things will be there. But now, this particular thing is going to go there and then start activating so that the ears can hear. Because who is the hearer and ears? Who is the person who hears when we talk? Not the ear. There's something inside us. The Jivatma is only hearing that. Chakshu, the eye is only a simple tool for you to see. But who is seeing it? Your own Jivatma. So these things will go into the new body and then it will start activating those kinds of things. No, like you got a computer, the fellow will come and plug it on so that everything will come into life. Similarly, the Stotram, Chakshu, ears, everything is there. Then this particular new fellow, this Jivatma will come, the one that has moved, and then it gets into the new body and then starts enliving that new body. That it is going to establish himself, Adhishtaya, then it is going to start Vishayan Upasevit, then it will start functioning by getting all the sensory things. Okay, so we'll go to this sloka quickly. Next.
Shanti Badri Bhagini.
Shrotram Chakshuspashanancha.
Shanti Badri Bhagini. Okay. Bhanureka Bhagini.
Srotan Chakshuspashanam cha. Srotan Chakshuspashanam cha.
Shrotram.
Srotram, sir.
Shri Ramajayam, Shri Raman, Shrotram.
Shrotram Chakshuspashanam cha. Shrotram Chakshuspashanam cha.
Rasanangranameva.
Rasanangranameva cha. Rasanangranameva cha.
Shrotran Chakshuspashanancha. Rasanangranameva.
Srotram Chakshuspashanam cha. Rasanangranameva cha. Srotram Chakshuspashanam cha. Rasanangranameva cha.
Next.
Kashmira Bhagini.
Adhishtaya Manaschayam.
अधिष्ठाय मनश्चायम् अधिष्ठाय मनश्चायम्
Vishayanupasevate.
विषयानुपसेवते विषयानुपसेवते
Adhishtaya Manaschayam. Vishayanupasevate.
अधिष्ठाय मनश्चायम् विषयानुपसेवते अधिष्ठाय मनश् विषयानुपसेवते.
Good. Next.
Srimati Bhagini.
Shotran Chakshuspashanancha. Rasanangranameva.
श्रोत्रं चक्षुस्पर्शनं च रसनं घ्राणमेव च श्रोत्रं चक्षुस्पर्शनं च रसनं घ्राणमेव च.
Good. Next.
Anupama Bhatt Bhagini.
Adhishtaya Manaschayam. Vishayanupasevate.
अधिष्ठाय मनश्चायम् विषयानुपसेवते अधिष्ठाय मनश्चायम् विषयानुपसेवते.
Good. Next.
Sheela Shinde Bhagini.
Shotran Chakshuspashanancha. Rasanangranameva. Adhishtaya Manaschayam. Vishayanupasevate.
श्रोत्रं चक्षुस्पर्शनं च रसनं घ्राणमेव च अधिष्ठाय मनश्चायं विषयानुपसेवते.
Yeah. Next, one more person.
Sharada Rajan Bhagini.
श्रोत्रं चक्षुस्पर्शनं च रसनं घ्राणमेव च अधिष्ठाय मनश्चायं विषयानुपसेवते.
Good. So what happens is that in the previous sloka we understood that the two Sukshma Sarira is just pulled out of the Stula Sarira. Like once the Prarabdha is over, the lease rental agreement is over, this fellow has to move out to another house. So he has just moved out, okay? And then it goes to another body, another shariram. And when this moves out of the existing body is dead. And then when it's going to go and sit in some other place, that body is slowly formed also. Then when it goes and then it comes, sits there, then it is having ears, eyes, all those things are formed. And this fellow, that is Ayam Manascha, Ayam, no, the second line, Manaschayam. Ayam is the Jivatma. It is going to have Adhishtaya, means it is going to get established itself with Stotram Chakshu. Stotram is ears, Chakshu is eyes, Sparshanam is skin, Rasanam is taste, Granam is your smelling, all these kind Jnanendriyas, etc. And Manas, the mind, all these things will go and establish itself into the new body. And then what will it do? Like whatever we are doing, Vishayan Upasevate, we start interacting with the world of objects and then have experiences with worldly objects. So what happens is this, the body falls, the Shri.Balasubramanian moves, it goes into another body, and that other body, we do not know, there's going to be a human body, or a higher level body, or lower level body, or you're going to get born into a very good parents, or you're going to be born into the parents who are going to be struggling and you're also going to struggle. We don't know any of those things. All those things depend upon the karma. The karma is the one that is going to decide what kind of body you are going to get. But Krishna has already assured in the 6th chapter that once you are going to be in this journey and you are committed to the spiritual journey, it is my responsibility that I'll put you in another place where you will be able to further progress in your spiritual journey. That's what Bhagavan has told. But now, otherwise, if you look at that way, you understand now the cycle of birth and death. The Sukshma Sarira will leave the body once Prarabdha is over, get into another body. Then again, the child is born, then Punya Vajanam will take place, then all these functions will take place, LKG, UKG, school, primary school, high school, college, then GRE, TOEFL, America, Apple, Amazon, again get married, children, again die. Again this fellow will go again, LKG, UKG, start going on and on and on. One has to understand whether this is what we want to do, or we need to have a different kind of trajectory for us to understand and then move forward in terms of spiritual journey. So, Stotram Chakshus Parshanancha Rathanam Granamevacha Adhishtaya Manaschayam Vishayanupasevate. We'll complete this sloka and then we'll continue tomorrow. Nirmanamohajida Sangadoshaha Adhyatma Nitya Vinivruddakamaha Vanpairvimukta Sugadukka Sanjaihi Gacchantya Muda Padamabjayantate Natadbhasayate Suryah Sashashanko Napavakah Yadgatvanani Vartante Taddama Paramam Mama Mamaivamsho Jiva Loke Jiva Bhuta Sanatanaha Manashattadindriyani Prakrutistani Kashati Shariram Yadavapnoti Yachapyutkramatishvarah Grihi Vaitani Sayyati Vayurgandhani Vashayat Shotram Chakshusparshanancha Rasanangranamenvacha Adhishtaya Manaschayam Vishayanupasevate Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate Om Shanti 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 Hari